So I've been using the SmallRig full cage for the Sony A7 IV for a while now, but recently I decided I would try this 3639 half cage for the A7 IV. And the reason I was really interested in this is because when you use a full-size cage with the A7 IV, you have this metal grip on the side, and for as much time as I spend shooting videos, I spend a lot of time shooting photos as well. And this just wasn't quite as comfortable for use in photo mode because this part of the cage kind of gets in the way of accessing some of the buttons. It just makes it a little bit tighter. So the great thing about the half cage is you still get a lot of different mounting points and the ability to add side handles, top handles, and camera monitors to your camera while still giving yourself full access to all the different buttons on the side. And it just comes in at a much smaller package. This comes with two different adapters. That way you can use it with the A7 IV or the A7S III. I think it also works with the A7R4. And this half cage is really great because you get a 3/8 inch and a couple quarter 20 mounts on the top, a cold shoe on the side, you get a built-in NATO rail on the side, you get a slot to put your HDMI cable clamp, and you get another spot that's great for putting a side handle on here as well. I personally use this with a NATO side handle, so you just put it on, it just slides up and down, and then you lock it into place. So that's a really great, easy way to attach the NATO rail. SmallRig also makes this MD4019 top plate adapter that you can use on this cage, and it allows you to use the FX3 and FX30 XLR audio handle on your A7 IV or your A7S III or your A7R4. Another thing that's really cool about this cage is it has a built-in ARCA quick release on the bottom, or you can also put your own plate on the bottom if you want to. And the tool to attach it to your camera is right there. So to attach it to your camera, you screw the bottom screw into your camera's quarter 20 mount, and then you take this side screw and it goes in your left strap eyelet. That way the camera doesn't go back and forth once it's mounted. Overall, I really like this cage. There's a little play at the top if you use the top handle, just because it's not a full cage that can be totally solid. This part doesn't screw in anywhere, it's screwed in down there. So I do notice this can wiggle a little bit with a top handle. But I really like this cage because it makes it just so quick and easy to rig up your camera. You can put a side handle on like that and have a really good compact rig that gives you better gripability. And it's just super sleek and easy to use, which is perfect for a small camera like the A7 IV, where you've got the flip out screen and you just want something that's low profile for run and gun. I also really like using this with a 3/8 inch handle on top that uses the RE locator pins. It's super easy and fast to put it on. And you can even use the tool on the bottom to give it that final twist to make it fit super snug. I do notice when you hold the handle like this, you almost feel a little bit of wiggle to the camera, but it's not going to show up in any of your footage. It also makes a great base for adding a monitor mount or putting a recorder like the Atomos Ninja 5 on. I like this monitor mount that has the 3/8 with the anti-twist screws, because I can put it directly on the front of my top handle. Or if I'm not using the top handle, I can also put it directly on the camera cage. So this is a really great mount. I have links for all this different gear that I'm using in this video in the description below. So if you're interested in checking any of that out, it's in the description. If you're using an HDMI monitor and recording video with it, you also should really be using an HDMI cable clamp. This HDMI clamp from SmallRig does a great job at holding the cable in place and making it where it won't wiggle or come loose while you're filming. It's really easy to just plug your camera in like that, and all of a sudden you've got this super compact rig with a whole external recorder, all using this half cage. And even with the HDMI clamp, you can still fit this NATO handle on the side. One thing I do notice with this setup is there's not a really good spot for your thumb to go when you're using it this way, so that can be a little bit tight. It works better if you use your thumb on top of the side handle. So overall, using this half cage, I'm still really happy with all the different setups and configurations I'm able to get with my A7 IV. I do miss the side mounts on this side though, because sometimes I mount my camera this way for vertical orientation, but you can always take the accessories off the side and use those mounting screws there to put it in vertical orientation. One other thing I wish they could have changed is I wish the cold shoe could have been at an angle like some of their other cages, because that would just give you more freedom to put a microphone on the side of the cage here without it getting in the way of your top handle setup. So I wish they could have changed that in the design, but you can always put a microphone on your side handle, or you can mount it to certain top handles as well. It also makes a great setup with a recorder or a monitor on top using the HDMI cable and the half cage. And then you can still have full access to all your side buttons and your side grip shooting like this. So overall, I think this SmallRig half cage is a great option for Sony shooters who shoot hybrid, shooting lots of photos and lots of videos, as it keeps your setup small and compact while still giving you a ton of expandability, different mounts like the NATO rail, the 3/8 and quarter 20s on the top, the side cold shoe mount. It's just a great cage that feels really solid. I'm super happy with it, and I think I'm going to be running with the half cage now instead of the full size cage on a day-to-day basis. If you're interested in any of the gear shown in this video, I have links for all of it in the description below. And if you have any questions about this half cage or anything else that's video gear related, especially with the Sony A7 IV, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it.